Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a sweeping 300,000-year history of Morocco. We're talking a journey from the very first ancient hominids to walk the region all the way to a modern nation dealing with some pretty complex 21st century climate challenges. It's a land of absolute stark contrasts, right? A place where the Atlantic Ocean literally meets the Sahara Desert and where centuries-old traditions stand right alongside high-speed trains. Let's get right into it.
So what happens when the cultures of Africa, Europe, and the Middle East collide over millennia? Well, looking at Morocco, we get the living, breathing answer to that exact question. It's basically the last outpost of ancient Rome, the Byzantine Empire, the Islamic Empire, and modern Europe, all layered into one incredible, surviving, independent nation. To really understand this, we'll break it down into 5 key areas. First, Morocco as a crossroads of civilizations. Second, the great Islamic dynasties. Third, colonization and independence. Fourth, modernization and social change. And finally, heritage and future challenges.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, a crossroads of civilizations. Morocco is, without a doubt, the ultimate crossroads. Sitting right there at the northwestern tip of Africa, it acts as this vital bridge between oceans and continents. You've got Algeria to the east, Spain just across the Mediterranean to the north, and the vast Atlantic rolling in on the west. And since North Africa is notoriously tough to access from Europe by land, Morocco has forever served as the primary gateway into the African continent. This prime real estate made it a highly coveted prize for traders and empires throughout basically all of recorded history. Let's put that history into perspective. 300,000 years ago, yeah, that long ago, Paleolithic skeletons found in the pre-reef regions show humans using this land as a migratory pathway straight from Africa to Europe. Fast forward a bit to the 11th century BC, and we see Phoenician maritime traders hitting the Moroccan coast, setting up city-states to trade gold and silver. By the 1st century CE, the Romans had rolled in and annexed the region. They built massive towns like Volubilis and turned the whole area into this bucolic paradise, actually producing so much olive oil that it outpaced the Italian provinces. But as we're going to see, indigenous Berber tribes constantly, fiercely resisted this external control.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Great Islamic Dynasties.
So following the arrival of Islam in the 7th and 8th centuries, you see this incredible momentum of successive native empires taking hold. We're talking the early Idrisids, who founded the first Sharifian state, sweeping up to the massive Berber empires of the Almoravids and Almohads, who expanded all the way into Spain. Then the Marinids, who built that absolutely stunning monumental architecture in Fez, and finally the Saadians and the Alawites. Every single one of these dynasties layered onto the last, creating a highly centralized, distinctly Moroccan political structure.
Now, a super crucial turning point here is how early leaders deliberately balanced the Arab and Berber populations. Take Idris II in the 9th century. He brilliantly managed this by bringing Arab families from Al-Andalus and Tunis to settle in his newly built capital of Fez, putting them directly alongside the indigenous Berber tribes. Now, this wasn't just some accident. It was a highly intentional strategy to forge a uniquely Moroccan Islamic identity. It was a cultural blending that really stabilized the whole kingdom.
As we push into the 16th and 17th centuries, these later dynasties, the Saadians and the Alawites, were pretty much defined by their fierce resistance to early European expansion. I mean, the Saadians famously defeated massive European expeditionary forces, and the Alawite dynasty, which actually still holds the throne today, successfully expelled the Portuguese and pushed the kingdom's borders way down south. They laid the geographical and political foundation for the borders we recognize right now, literally fighting to keep global empires at bay for centuries.
Which brings us to Section 3, colonization and independence. In 1912, France and Spain essentially negotiated to carve up Morocco. They placed the strategic northern coastline under Spanish control and took the vast interior for the French. As you can imagine, this was not a peaceful transition at all. It sparked intense guerrilla warfare. The French faced massive pushback from mountain farmers, leading to these brutal, bloody wars of pacification that caused immense structural upheaval. And while the French rapidly built railways and modern infrastructure to extract resources, they effectively created 2 distinct Moroccos, one for the colonizers and one for the marginalized locals.
But here's the thing. Moroccans showed absolutely incredible resilience. French-educated Moroccans formed the Istiqlal, or Independence Party, back in 1943, demanding their sovereignty right back. They staged massive demonstrations in 1944, which unfortunately were met with heavy military suppression. The real breaking point, though, came in 1953. The French actually exiled the Moroccan Sultan, Mohammed V, just for supporting the nationalists. Ironically, this desperate move to maintain control was the exact catalyst that guaranteed their defeat. It totally backfired, uniting the entire country in anger until the French had absolutely no choice but to bring the Sultan back and officially sign the Treaty of Independence in 1956.
All right, entering Section 4 now, modernization and social change.
Looking at the demographics today, Morocco boasts a fascinating 99.1% Arab Berber majority. Mathematically, that perfectly reflects the ancient melting pot we just talked about, that deliberate integration started by the Idrisid dynasty over 1,000 years ago. Fast forward to today, and this population of nearly 37 million people is navigating a rapidly modernizing economy, shifting heavily from rural agricultural lifestyles straight into large, bustling urban centers. And with modernization comes social reform. In 2004, following years of pressure from civil society and women's rights activists, King Mohammed VI signed the Moudawana reforms into law. The shifts were pretty stark. We're talking moving from a system that allowed unilateral divorce by the husband to one requiring court-appointed mediation for both parties. It also universally raised the marriage age to 18. Looking objectively at the history, this was a monumental piece of legislation aimed at updating the socio-cultural standard of the country for the 21st century.
And finally, Section 5, heritage and future challenges. Today, the Moroccan state faces this delicate balancing act. They have to carefully manage a booming tourism industry, attracting roughly 11 million foreign visitors annually who are drawn to the stunning beaches, the Sahara, and historic cities like Marrakesh. But this boom brings a real tension, the risk of commodifying the culture. You don't want to turn a rich, dynamic heritage, like intricate woodwork passed down from father to son for centuries, into just a pre-packaged commodity for the foreign eye. The ongoing challenge is preserving the authentic soul of Moroccan artisanship while still reaping the very real economic benefits of global tourism.
But honestly, the environment is the true ultimate test here. To combat erratic rainfall and rising temperatures that are actively threatening food and water security, Morocco is utilizing a strict four-step framework. 1. Identifying interconnected natural systems. 2. Recognizing deep vulnerabilities in water and agriculture. 3. Acting on synergies. And 4. Minimizing undesirable trade-offs. It's a highly complex step-by-step governance strategy designed to ensure the physical land of Morocco actually survives the coming decades.
To borrow a wonderfully evocative phrase from our sources, the Moroccan theater of the eye was pleased to close its curtains with yet another encore. The sweeping story of this nation really is a captivating, ongoing performance of survival and reinvention. From ancient maritime traders all the way to high-speed trains, Morocco has consistently absorbed outside influences, survived colonial fracturing, and somehow re-emerged with its own distinct, vibrant identity firmly intact.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As Morocco pushes deeper into the 21st century, managing severe climate scarcity and a massive global tourism influx, how will this incredible melting pot continue to adapt without losing its ancient soul? It's a huge question of resilience that not just Morocco, but really the entire modern world is trying to answer. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next explainer.